Sharpen all the edges that I hide, I'm a liar. See my body licking up the flames from the fire. They can never kill me, so they seal me even tighter. What remains without 40 in the strength? I'm a fighter, 50 in the faith. Take me higher. I'm a rise up, but my demons like the tide. Blood moon in my eyes. Blood moon, white faint, bright blue, my stains, night flame. Then we got into rooms, yeah. Sun breath hit my wrist, blade fall like the mistake. Cares like a peak, yeah. Malachite, turn a tarnish to a great sight, yeah. Kiss of death, but I miss the way it tastes like, yeah. Through the frenzy and the flame, I keep the honor beside me. This faith will abide me, we're burning into. Sharpen all the edges that I hide, I'm a liar. See my body licking up the flames from the fire. They can never kill me, so they seal me even tighter. What remains without 40 in the strength? I'm a fighter, 50 in the faith. Take me higher. I'm a rise up on my demons like the tide. Blood moon yellow in my eyes. War horse in the crypt. A nightmare, great sword on my head. Moving in my heart. I'm a rise up on my demons like the tide. Blood moon yellow in my eyes. Don't wish the walls to talk. They scream until I left the room. Blood writing on the walls tells me I'm born inside a tomb. I don't cower, I just power back. Water breathing got me feeling like I swallowed glass. Form 11, lose a weapon, you don't see it. If you spy it, never try it, they can deflect. Whip what I saw, but I'm grim when I don't see that curse on the corpse. I'm a scourge, I'm the worst. Before the falling, I could bear this burden. 100 days ago, I found my purpose. Sharpen all the edges that I hide, I'm a liar. See my body licking up the flames from the fire. They can never kill me, so they seal me even tighter. What remains without 40 in the strength? I'm a fighter, 50 in the faith. Take me higher. I'm a rise up on my
And we are live. Hello, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Dual Dynasty, your weekly WWE review show here on the BC WrestlePod network conglomeration, YouTube, Twitch thingamabob we got going on here. I am your host, Mikey, and joining me, as always, is the man with not a plan, but brings all the hoss, though he is not a boss. Or at least in his mind, he is. But Minnie is in the building. Hello, my friend. I have missed you. It has been
quite the introduction.
I know. Listen, it's been 2 weeks, so I got to bring all the extraness because WWE was. I will say, SmackDown was a lot of fun. Raw was raw. So I don't know, man. The last couple of weeks, SmackDown has been kind of fun, and taking the Bloodline storyline out of SmackDown for a little bit. SmackDown is just more fun to me. It's got more fun characters. But we are here to talk about everything Raw and SmackDown. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube. Follow us on the Twitch. Follow us all over the social medias at BC WrestlePod. We are on the Facebook, the Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And you can download the Next Level app to find all our social medias and more. From there, we also have some merchandise available too. Stay tuned because more designs will be coming this week or as we get closer to Black Friday. So this is going to be a lot of fun for
I'm still waiting on my stuff to get here.
I know. Well, it's going to be a great present when you get to it. It's going to be fantastic. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it because we are going to kick things off with a Monday Night Raw. So this Monday Night Raw was pre-taped, so we got to see the taping that happened the next day after Crown Jewel. It feels like Crown Jewel is like forever ago. It was just last weekend. How the wrestling flies by. It's kind of outrageous out here.
I forgot it even happened.
Yeah, it's we don't talk about Crown Jewel. Anyways, so Monday Night Raw kicks off this week. We have, our Women's World Champion and the winner of the first ever Crown Jewel Women's Championship, Liv Morgan, with Raquel Rodriguez in the ring, alongside Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And Liv cuts this promo with a big ol' honking ring on her finger to signify, she is the Crown Jewel Champion, the first ever one, which is cool, I guess. The championships are going to be stored at the WWE Experience, which is a big old museum for WWE, if you will, in Saudi Arabia. And Liv cuts this promo. The Revenge Tour has come to an end, and now she is on a world tour. So I'm like, we're cutting the Revenge Tour short because Rhea Ripley is hurt. I'm like, no, not again. I'm like, Rhea, we just got you back.
Broken orbital bone, I think it was.
And she broke it, giving Liv Morgan the headbutt the other week. My goodness. Rhea, I love you. Hopefully you're not gone for too long. But Liv says that it is the end of the Revenge Tour. She is now on the World Tour. She flew all the way across the world to beat Nia Jax and to become the new and only Women's Crown Jewel Champion. The crowd is booing. Liv says, too bad. She's done everything that she wanted to prove and that she's the greatest women's champion of all time. And, Dominic tries to get on the mic. He tries to speak. The crowd boos him to high heavens. But then, as we're going to see more of this trio inside the ring, we get interrupted by a storm is coming. So Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair show up. They get into the ring. And, Liv is not the only.
Have you seen her post on her working on this new move?
Ooh, I am here for that move.
Dude, I want that. That move looks that is a finisher right there.
Oh, absolutely. And, Jade continues to post these videos of her working and training. Like, I am here for it. But, speaking of Jade, her and Bianca are in the ring with Liv and the crew. Bianca gets on the mic. She states that Liv is not the only person to walk out of Crown Jewel as a champion, as Jade and Bianca successfully defended their tag team championships against not one, not two, but three other teams in a fatal four-way, which from what I hear in the highlights, that was probably the best match of the whole entire Crown Jewel event, which is fantastic. Liv interrupts Bianca, which was a bad choice on her part. And you know what? Liv gets in her face. And then I love that the internet takes this meme. But Bianca is just standing there. She's trying not to say nothing. She's not trying to do nothing. Liv gets in her face. She continues to egg her on. And then Bianca slaps the shit out of Liv. I was like, damn. I was like,
that was like a Stephanie McMahon slap. That was a slap.
Also, shout out to the internet for, anybody who's familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog. When he gets hit, he loses rings. He created the meme of that moment and just Bianca Belair slapping the rings out of Liv Morgan with the whole sound effect.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Dude, her face was so red after, too.
Oh my goodness. And then Liv was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's happening to me. And Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce is here, and he's like, no, we are not about to have chaos unfold on Monday Night Raw. So we're just going to continue with the show. Bianca gets one. And Adam Pearce says that, you know what, since everybody is in the ring now, we're about to start this women's battle royale. The winner gets a shot at Liv Morgan's title at a future time, probably going to be at Survivor Series, who knows? But we're just going to start this battle royale right now. And you know what? We go to commercial. As soon as Damage Control makes their way to the ring to kick off the battle royale. So, I mean, with Rhea out, this definitely probably derails a couple of things, but this promo I thought was just all right. I'm like,
it sets up a feud between these people.
Yeah, with everybody involved, and it sets up two things because we're going to talk about it. So now, when we come back from commercial, Raquel and Liv are sitting at ringside as we get our first match of the evening, which is a women's #1 contender battle royale. Winner is going to get a championship match against Liv Morgan in the future. And the participants in this match include Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, Zelina Vega, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, Ivy Nile, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Maxine Dupree, Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, and Lyra Valkyria. So pretty much the entirety of the women's Raw roster. I mean, it was a battle royale. We'll just talk about all the highlights. We're probably going to get a match between Liv and Raquel versus Jade and Bianca because Liv and Raquel were pulling that braid.
Oh my God, I thought they were ripping off her head.
I was like, I know she slapped the taste out your mouth, Liv, but let's not pull out the braid. That's
that was diabolical.
I'm like, Bianca paid for that hair, girl. Like, what is happening? So I thought that spot was funny. It's probably going to set up a tag team championship match between the two. Shout out to Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria for putting on a banger when they ended up being the final two.
Can we see more of them?
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. Can we get a Carmelo Andrade, but with these two?
Yes, that's what listen. Lyra's hella good. Io is amazing, but they're battling on the ring apron. Io hits one of her finishers, which causes Lyra to fall to the ground. Your winner and new #1 contender to the WWE Women's Championship is Io Sky. So this was amazing. So Io is going to get another shot at the championship. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good feud. So whenever Rhea's ready to come back, like, I think Io is a perfect choice. That match is also going to slap. So let this lead to the return of Asuka, please. But overall, I thought this battle royale was fun. The crowd was definitely behind it, which is nice to see. And, again, Io and Lyra, carried that thing at the final two. And they put on a hell of a good match. So this was fantastic. They continue to backstage. We continue to tease the inevitable breakup of the New Day, which, doesn't help that later in the week we get a social media video of Adam Pearce saying that in the next coming weeks, we're going to have an episode dedicated to the New Day. And I'm just like, oh man, here it comes.
This is Raw.
Probably tomorrow. I'm just like, I mean, it's a long time coming. Definitely want to see these men go on and have solo runs. Hopefully we get to see a Big E make a reappearance in some capacity and all this. Because
Monday Night Raw is the official return of Big E.
Yeah. I would love for E to return. I would love that. Fantastic. I miss E. So then we get a video. Last week, Miz got kidnapped, by the way. It's 6, which was funny. I need this also, since we're talking about social media. I need Karrion Kross to be this funny on television because the social media video that him and, Scarlett did after Miz got kidnapped, and he's just like, well, he's probably dead. Do we really have to go look at him? And Scarlett's like, we have to. We got to go look for him. It's like, all right, fine. Let me get my jacket. I'm like, I need this Karrion Kross on TV because I could get behind this Karrion Kross. Let him be funny.
I think this guy's like, we found the Miz. That was his action figure.
Oh my goodness. But in this particular video, the Wyatt Six interrupted broadcast. The Miz is there with his mouth duct tape. We get a video overlay package kind of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel when they were the part of the Miz's team of the Miz Taraj, if you will. So then Bo Dallas is laughing and that they don't want the final testament. They want Miz. Miz is going to go through the thorns and the thistle. Miz the buzzer emerges to grab Miz, and then the camera cuts out. I'm just like, oh, this is about to be amazing. So I'm interested to see what's going to go down with all of that. And, Wyatt Six.
Die.
I'm like, Miz is about to die, as Karrion Kross has said. And which is funny, too, because later Karrion Kross is like, listen, I don't really care about the Miz, but nobody puts their hands on Paul Ellering. So if I don't get what I want, somebody in charge is about to get thrown off a roof. And he looks at Adam Pearce. I'm like, oops. So, this is going to be great. We get a video package stating that Goldberg is going to have his retirement match in 2025. Okay. Moving on.
Who cares?
Nobody cares. I don't. We get a replay of the War Raiders becoming the new #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship, which leads into our second match of the episode, the New Day versus the War Raiders. Listen, these four men can do no wrong in my eyes. They always bring it. This match slapped. I love this match. It's so good. I love it because it's a good tag team match, and we continue to build the drama between Xavier and Kofi. So, I thought this was great. Go ahead.
Always put on bangers.
They absolutely do. I love that they're back to being the War Raiders, and I love that their presentation they're kind of still Vikings, but they also have leather jackets.
They're like Viking bikers.
Yes, and I feel like that's what they should have been though from the beginning. But certain creative controls, they're like, we're just gonna do Viking stuff. I'm like, that's cool and all, but I like Viking bikers better than Viking.
I mean, their entrance was pretty hard.
That is very true. But I also like that they still have aspects of the Vikings, but now they are bikers, so they're gonna beat the crap out of you, which makes me super excited. All I am saying is that as I am super happy that they are back. Adam Pearce, do the right thing. I love the Judgment Day, but let the War Raiders take those titles off of Finn and JD.
Please.
Like, they're not doing it. They have been doing nothing with these tag titles. They've only defended it once. And I'm like, you got the Motor City Machine Guns out here. They've already defended the things twice, and they've only had it for 2 weeks. Like, come on now. I'm just like, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that because we continue to give the War Raiders wins, that hopefully they take the tag titles off of the Judgment Day, because JD and Finn do not need to have those anymore, especially if we're going to, because we keep teasing that Finn is like getting tired of the group. So we shall see what happens with all of this. So Sami Zayn is about to talk in front of the crowd, but we get a promo that the Road to WrestleMania shows this year for Raw and SmackDown are going to be taking place in Europe, leading into WrestleMania, which I find is an interesting choice, but you know what? That's amazing. And it is going to be going through Spain, Belgium, Italy, Scotland, England, a bunch of European countries as we head into WrestleMania. So that is going to be fantastic. Also, because we'll talk about it a little bit later, more in depth, but this was also the day or the following day that we get the announcement that Elimination Chamber will be Saturday, March 1st, coming from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So Elimination Chamber is the final stop before WrestleMania, and I love that it is in March, because then we can build like 4 to 5 weeks leading into what we need to for Mania season. So I love that Elimination Chamber, once again, is probably going to be touted as the final stop for anybody who did not win the Rumble to get in their championship match at WrestleMania in Vegas this year. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Sami comes out to a big reception. Sami Zayn talks into his native language, and we talk about everything that went down because he accidentally haluva kicked Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel towards the end of the match. Sami Zayn speaks in Arabic, which I love to hear. But we have Sami and then Jey Uso, main event. Jey Uso comes out. And basically, before Sami Zayn can answer for what happened at Crown Jewel, Jimmy comes down to the ring. Jimmy and Jay start arguing. The one tribal tree is pissed for what went down. Basically, Sami Zayn has to answer for his crimes, if you will. So Jay says that, you know what, Sami, come to SmackDown, bro, this week. Let's all talk. So the Usos, Sami, and Roman Reigns in the same ring. Let's talk, and we can work this out. So, again, we'll talk more about that when we get to SmackDown, because that is where everything went down this Friday. So this segment
Shit went boom.
Yes. This was the prelude to what we would get during SmackDown, but we cut backstage. Seth Rollins is being interviewed. Recently he's come off against his, having a match against Big Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel. And, Seth is ready for this fatal four-way to determine who will face Gunther for the title, which is fantastic.
That, by the way, I saw clips of that match. Seth had one of the best, camera turn. You could read his lips. You knew exactly what he said. He looked at Bronson Reed and went, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because he curb stomped him 4 times, pinned him, and then Bronson Reed just got back up. With blood dripping.
Yeah, Seth is like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Listen, and we'll talk about it when we get to the match too, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, they ain't done yet." But we cut to commercial, and when we come back, we get our third match of the evening, which was also a banger: Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable.
Yes, sir.
My God, this is probably my favorite match of the whole entire evening. And I love the main event, but this was amazing. Chad is amazing. Dragon Lee is amazing. This match rule. But of course, Chad Gable loses. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, no. What? Chad cannot catch a break. I thought we were doing something, and him and American Made continued to lose. Except for Ivy Niles. She beat Zelina Vega the other week. Ivy's the only one who's getting any wins here.
So who do you give the win to? Because both of these guys have been losing a lot recently.
The Creeds have been losing. Chad loses. Dragon Lee is losing. We need to figure out something. Pick up the victory here. But man, this match did rule. I love this so much. This is a fantastic match. So once again, Ludwig and Gunther are backstage with Miss Jackie Redmond. Gunther was kind of leaning a little bit towards a face in this promo, and Ludwig was like, "Bro, what are you talking about? I don't care about anybody else. Why are you even giving these people the time of day?" I was like, you know what? Give me this Gunther, who's not full face, but he has face tendencies, because this was really good. I like this segment. Gunther may disagree with the things that, because he's asked what went down at Crown Jewel. Gunther lost to Cody Rhodes. But Gunther is not mad at Cody. And he's like, I may not agree with the way that Cody does things, but Cody didn't get lucky, and he won that victory fair and square. Cody was the better man in that match. Jackie asks Gunther about the Fatal 4-Way in our main event. Gunther says there are 3 amazing competitors and Dom. I was like, damn. Gunther, I was just like, yo, I can get behind this Gunther. He just took a dump on Dom. It was hilarious. Gunther says that Ludwig didn't take care of Sheamus, and it's on Gunther to do better. Gunther then looks at, Ludwig and says that they both need to do better. And then this is where we get Damien's new entrance, and we get into our main event of Monday Night Raw this week, which is the World Heavyweight Fatal 4-Way #1 contenders match. We had Damian Priest versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Sheamus versus Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
This match
was 3 great competitors and Dom.
Yeah, you have 3 great competitors and Dom. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. You have 3 great competitors and Dom. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. But yeah, we're definitely going to put that on a t-shirt somewhere. You have 3 great competitors and Dom. So this match was chaotic AF because everybody got involved in this one. Bronson Reed came out to attack, Bronson Reed came out to attack Seth freaking Rollins. Chad Gable came out to attack, Sheamus and all. Sheamus was down. Seth was down. Damian Priest ended up going down when all of this was said and done. But Dominic thought he did something. Dominic's like, oh my gosh, you guys, I could actually win this match. So Dominic goes up to the top turnbuckle and he's getting ready to do this. But unfortunately, Dominic thinks he's going to win. He tries, frog splash and all of that. But Priest, for the 1-2, Damian Priest gets up. He's writhing in pain. Dominic hits Damian with the 619, but Priest hits the South of Heaven for the win. 1, 2, 3, your winner. And the new World Heavyweight to #1 contender is Damian Priest. So it seems that we're going to be running Gunther and Damian Priest back. I'm pretty sure both of these championship matches with Liv and Io, and then Damian and Gunther are probably going to happen at Survivor Series. But this was our main event. And overall, there was a lot going on. But I thought this was a fantastic main event. Damian winning is definitely the safe choice, but I'd be lying if I didn't want to see Gunther and Damian run back at it again. I will say though, if Dominic had won, it would have been hilarious to see Gunther chop the bejesus out of Dominic. I think this is going to be a fun match. I mean, it could happen at Survivor Series. It could also happen, in December or something like that. Maybe at the Saturday main event show that is happening in December at Madison Square Garden. Who knows? We'll figure that all out. But I will say, though, overall, my final thoughts on this is going to be that even though this was a tape show, because this was taped the day after Crown Jewel, this crowd definitely made it easy to watch. They didn't waste any time with any of the matches. We continue to perpetuate and, storylines and all of that good stuff. And I thought there were some good segments. This is funny, and this was an easy 2 hour. We are going to move on to Smackdown, but we're going to take a small little break as we get our bearings and shift gears for Smackdown. So make sure to get yourself a drink and to grab a snack because we will be right back. We'll catch you after the break.
Yeah. Here we go. Sharpen all the edges that I hide, I'm a liar. See my body licking up the flames from the fire. They could never kill me, so they seal me even tighter. Who remains without 40 in the strength? I'm a fighter, 50 in the faith. Take me higher, I'm a rise up on my demons like the tide. Blood moon, you in my eyes. Blood moon, white fang, light blue, my stains, night flame. Then we got into realms, yeah. Sun breath hit my wrist, blade fall like the mistake. As I go peak, yeah. Malacheth turn a tarnish to a great sight, yeah. Kiss of death, but I miss the way it tastes like, yeah. Through the frenzy and the flame, I keep the honor beside me. This faith will abide me, we're burning the two. Sharpen all the edges that I hide, I'm a liar. See my body licking up the flames from the fire. They can never kill me, so they seal me even tighter. Who remains without 40 in the strength? I'm a fighter, 50 in the faith. Take me higher, I'm a rise up on my demons like a tide. Blood moon, you in my eyes. War horse in the crypt, and dark. They scream until I left the room. Blood writing on the walls tells me I'm born inside a tomb. I don't cower, I just power back. Water breathing got me feeling like I swallowed glass. Former avenues a weapon, you don't see it. If you spy it, never try it, they can deflect. We put a sound, but I'm grim when I don't see that kind of.
Yeah. Here we go.
So we're kind of back a little bit. Let me fix that real quick. There we go.
Fuzzy.
There we go. All right.
That works.
I know. This is crazy. But welcome back. We just had to take a quick break real quick. But now that we are done with Monday Night Raw, we are moving into Friday Night Smackdown, which I have to say was a baller show. I really enjoyed Smackdown this week. So
I don't know why I'm so fuzzy and I can't fix it.
Don't worry, we will figure it. We will figure it out for next time. But let's just jump straight into it because we are now back.
Fixed it.
Yeah, thank goodness we fixed it. It's fantastic.
I'm beautiful again.
You are beautiful, I guess.
Yes. Damn, I got fucking roasted.
Take that. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So with that being said, we are now back into live.
Just Schmurkatone.
We are now back into live WWE taping as this came to us live on Friday, November 8th from Buffalo, New York. So we are back in the States for SmackDown. And, we kick things off with a tribal council meeting, if you will. What's up? But really quickly, Nick, homie, friend to the channel. What's up, fellas? What's up, my friend? We just finished covering Monday Night Raw from Saudi Arabia, and now we're going on to this week's SmackDown, and we're just about to talk about what opened up the show, which was a tribal council meeting between Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and the Sami Zayn. So this was amazing. This segment was awesome. This was the first 15 minutes of the show, but Jay wants Jimmy and Roman to hear Sami out. Sami gets on the mic, talks about how he's not siding with Solo, but he is out. He's the bloodline, years ago, feeling very Usi and Sami Uso. And Sami once again was breaking Jimmy, Jay, and Roman in this segment. But Sami's like, we can be all this again, but you need to apologize. But Sami's like, don't apologize to me. You need to apologize to Jay for the way that you treated him. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Roman's like, hell no, I'm not going to apologize to Jay. I was like, I'm like, Jay, you wasted our time with Sami coming out here, bro. Like, Solo, get your butt out here. We need to chat. We need to do things. And Sami begins to leave. He's like, hey, man, I tried. But, that's instead of a Solo Sikoa, we had a Jacob Fatu on the screen. I love when Jacob cuts these promos, man. Like, he's just like, it's amazing. I love Jacob so much.
I love seeing the footage of when they're showing the bloodline walking back to the backstage area. You have Tama Tonga going yeah. And you got Tonga Loa as the bloodline rules and all this other stuff. And then here comes Jacob Fatu going, I love you, Solo. I'm like, oh damn. I need somebody who loves me like how Jacob loves Solo.
I love Jacob Fatu when he cuts promos. I really do. I love it when he cuts these promos and just let him off the loose and just let him speak and talk his shit, if you will. But, Jacob gets on the Titantron and tells Roman and the rest of the OTC bloodline that, we do this on Solo's time, so you won't have to wait. We ain't doing this now. And, that is how this segment goes. Once again, I thought this was a solid segment involving everyone. obviously we are going to be building to award games, and this is a prelude for what goes down later in the evening, which we'll talk about it when we get there. But after we get some confrontation, because Jay and Roman get backstage, get into it a little bit, and Jay's like, hey man, if you're gonna talk to me, I told you, if you're gonna talk to me sideways, I'm out this piece. And so Jay goes to find Sammy. Jimmy's like, bro, Roman, you need to chill, bro. And Roman's like, you know what? I'm done with you too, Jimmy. Go find your brother. Like, And so Jimmy leaves. And then we get into our first match of the evening. Bailey herself now broke my soul a little bit. I'm like, I miss Indy. No. So, I mean, now's as good as a place to talk about it. But for those of you who are unaware, over this past week, we did have 3 folks get released from WWE. We had Baron Corbin, Tegan Knox, and Indy Hartwell released from the company. I mean, Baron, I'm kind of shocked and surprised, but I'm a little saddened. I was like, but y'all had him do great when he went with and teamed with Braun in NXT. Like, y'all really had nothing for this man to do. So annoying. And then Tegan Knox, like, I love Tegan, but like her injury kept her from being utilized properly. And I was just like, hopefully Tegan will kill it in the independents. But Minnie, the one that really broke my heart was Indy. I was so upset. I was like, she was just on SmackDown last week. What you mean you're going to release her? Why? Triple H, why? That one broke my heart.
That made no sense.
And I'm just like, I mean, we talked about it a long time ago when we had the draft earlier in the year, when Indy got called up and she was still the NXT Women's Champion. As excited as we were for her, I said that not that she wasn't ready ring-wise, but WWE, I feel like, pulled her up too quickly because they had nothing for her. And then, she was out on injury. She returned, but we still didn't utilize her. We put her and Candice LeRae back together, which had me excited. And I thought we were going to do something, and then she gets released. I was like, no. That one hurt. And to watch, like I said, watching Candice come out by herself now,
yeah, it was weird seeing her without Indy.
Heart hurt a lot. I was so sad. And then even Dexter Lumis posted something about it, because remember, Dexter helped Indy win the championship at Stand and Deliver, the one that we were at too, and I was so mad.
Yeah. I hope she goes to like TNA or some shit.
Yes, I would love for her to go to TNA, and I mean,
well, if she goes to TNA, she'll be still technically working with WWE,
which is really interesting. But both Baron, Tegan, and Indy have 90 days, so we don't get to see them compete until those 90 days are up. But we have to talk about that a bit of news, because Indy and Candice were a thing, but now here we are. So back to it. Bayley versus Candice LeRae. I thought this was a pretty good fun match. It was okay. It was a little choppy at some times. The ending was good though on paper, but I feel like it wasn't executed properly. I thought this was an all right match. Bayley does pick up the victory here. I thought this was okay.
It was a pretty mid match.
I mean, Minnie, your thoughts on this match?
It was pretty mid.
Yeah, it was
there. It was overshadowed by the fact that Indy Hartwell wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, I think that's also what didn't help it either. Again, watching Candice come out by herself, I'm like, y'all just had this Indy on SmackDown last week. Like, this was crazy. But we move on because Johnny Gargano backstage comes up to the Motor City Machine Guns and talks about, congratulating them on becoming champions. And, punching Grayson Waller in the face is going to be the best thing for them. So because they have a match. Well, we'll talk about that because it was interesting. But punching Grayson Waller in the face is great. Motor City Machine Guns walk away. Tommaso Ciampa is not having it. And he is very aggro. And he talks to Johnny, what Johnny was doing. And Johnny's like, hey, man, I've known the Motor City Machine Guns since I was like 19. We go way back. And Tommaso was not having it. He tells Johnny that the Motor City Machine Guns have came in to take their spot. and that DIY is going to make an example out of Pretty Deadly tonight, and afterwards they're going to find the Motor City Machine Guns to get a rematch, which then we get at the same time as Tommaso Ciampa walking away and Johnny Gargano's left there with his thoughts. We see Randy Orton come into frame and walk through Gorilla to the ring, in which Randy Orton wastes no time because he wants Kevin Owens to come on out because he wants to beat his ass, if you will. Kevin Owens comes out. They are, being separated by, security guards. And then KO is like, puck it, runs down to the ring and begins to fight Randy Orton. And KO gives Randy Orton a pile driver of all things, which has been a move that has been banned in WWE for quite some time. And I'm just like,
I was sitting on my I had to rewind what I just saw. I'm like, huh? Did they just do that? Did somebody other than Undertaker and Kane do a pile driver?
I was like, what the heck?
And Randy sold the fuck out of it.
Well, yeah, he's like dying in the corner as Kevin Owens gets escorted out. And then we get the whole stretcher scene in which we have the EMTs come out with the stretcher. They put a neck brace on Randy Orton. Randy Orton is selling like he just got hit by a car as we follow Randy backstage as he gets into the ambulance and then walks away. This was a well-made promo. Michael Cole and Corey Graves, selling that this move has been banned. Cody Rhodes being with Randy as they leave in the ambulance is great stuff. Like, I honestly think, so I know people have been saying Cody is going to end up being the fifth man for the War Games match. I don't think I think we're getting Cody and KO for the title at Survivor Series or at the Saturday night main event show in December, but we are building to Cody and KO colliding.
Yeah, that's what we're building. I don't want Cody to be involved in the story as much as possible because he has the World Championship. And I want that, unless like this story ends at Survivor Series, which I don't know if it's going to be like original. Like, I think the Bloodline story ends there, but I still think there's going to be some sort of story because we still have The Rock, who's still a thing in this that has not even been introduced yet. And I know one of the other Fatu brothers just got signed with the company through the ID program. I don't think it was Zilla. It was somebody else. I don't remember who.
No, so we have Hikuleo, who's about to go to NXT. We'll probably be seeing him by the end of the year. But also we have Lance Anawai signed too with WWE. So we have two people coming in. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but you know what? Like I said, I feel like SmackDown has a better direction of where they are going with their stories, which makes me excited. But yeah, I thought this was a well-done segment by everybody involved. We get into basically what is the equivalent of a squash match because DIY versus Pretty Deadly is less than a minute and a half. Poor Pretty Deadly, man. They can never catch a break. They're always getting brutalized. And Tommaso Ciampa just literally does this. This basically was a handicap match because this is a 2-on-1. And, that's all that goes down with that. And I was like, what the flip is all of this? This is getting out of hand. But DIY pick up the victory. Johnny doesn't get tagged into this match. And, this was interesting. But again, poor Pretty Deadly. They continue to be a stepping stone for other tag teams.
Happens.
It is. Speaking of stepping stones, we are backstage with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Candice is walking backstage and she's stopped by Tiffany. Tiffany tells Candice that, beating Nia Jax a few weeks ago was just a fluke. Nia Jax then asks Tiffany if, she put their match together tonight. And Tiffany tells her that imagine if we can become women's tag team champions. Because Tiffany, apparently it's revealed here, that was the one that made this tag team match between her and Nia versus Jade and Bianca later in the evening. Candice tells Nia that, Tiffany is not good for Nia. They both walk away. Candice is looking sad by herself, which then leads into our next match, which is a tag team match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. I will say I did not like this match when it started, but as it went on, it got better and I enjoyed it a lot more. But I'm going to be honest. I love Bianca and Tiffany and everybody involved. Jade looked good in this match, but also I kind of want to see Tiffany and Bianca fight.
Jade always looks good.
That is very true. I want to see a match between Bianca and Tiffany because those girls were throwing hands. I was like, yes, give it to me. Bianca this week was just not having it with anybody and was ready to fight everyone and their mother. So
Dude,
I
Bianca was like, I'm just gonna kill everybody.
She is, and this is getting interesting because towards the tail end of this match, Candice LeRae comes out, and we think she's gonna cost Bianca and Jade the match, and then Naomi comes out to take out Candice, but Bianca and Jade still end up picking up the victory. I was like, oh, thank gosh! I thought Bianca and Jade were about to lose this match because of distraction shenanigans, but I mean, Naomi does have a champion. Naomi's getting her championship match next week against Nia Jax. So we're interested to see what's going to happen with all of that. This is going to be very interesting. So again, I thought the match got better as it went along. The women did great. We are continuing to build towards Nia versus Naomi next week, which has me excited. So now we get into our final wrestling match of the evening, Motor City Machine Guns versus A-Town Down Under, as Grayson Waller and Austin Theory take on Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley of the Motor City Machine Guns.
A squad.
The squad. This was a really fun tag team match. I think Grayson Waller and Austin Theory did a pretty good job keeping up with the guns. But let's be honest, the Motor City Machine Guns do everything very well. I was just like, they are so good.
Very, very hard pressed to find them not doing something. You're just like, damn.
Exactly. There was a couple of close falls, but ultimately the Motor City Machine Guns pick up the victory here. We cut backstage where, Motor City Machine Guns are walking through, past Gorilla backstage. DIY come in. Tommaso Ciampa begins to speak, but then they are interrupted by the Street Profits as Montez Ford tells DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns that earlier in the night they spoke to Nick Aldis, and it will be Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team Championships next week. Tommaso gets angry and tells John that this is what he was talking about, and Tommaso storms out. Look, we're getting the Guns and the Profits next week. That match is about to absolutely slap. Like, oh my gosh, this is the match I've been waiting for.
After Montez Ford just posted on Twitter how he's not happy with how his tag team is being treated.
This match next week is about to be a banger. Like, this is the match I've been waiting for since Motor City Machine Guns have come to SmackDown. Like, this is the match that I'm ready for. Oh, please let this be the main event next week. Please let this main event SmackDown next week. But this is the second championship match that we're getting next week. We're getting 2 championship matches. Nia versus Naomi, and then Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits. But speaking of championships, Minnie, the fans have been calling for it. We have been calling for it. Nick Aldis pulls the trigger first. Nick Aldis cuts this promo and unveils we have a WWE Women's United States Championship. We have a women's mid-card title.
Finally.
Holy shit, finally. I was like, it was only a matter of time. Nick Aldis cuts this really great video promo stating that the women of WWE continue to shatter the glass ceiling and are probably some of the strongest on the brand. And SmackDown understands that. So Nick Aldis unveils the WWE Women's United States Championship, and he tells the women's SmackDown roster that opportunity is knocks, and we are ready for it. Thank God, finally, we have a women's mid-card title, which means that if Nick Aldis unveiled this one, I'm pretty sure tomorrow evening we're probably going to get the Women's Intercontinental Championship on Raw.
Please.
Listen. And, to channel a friend of our channel here, everybody's speculating who should be the first Women's United States champion. I'm putting my hat into the ring. So I don't think, as much as I would love to see Naomi beat Nia, I don't think that's happening. But Naomi's at the top of my list to become, women's U.S. champ. My second pick, it would be Chelsea Green. Chelsea would be an amazing champion. And
Chelsea
then
Green.
And just have her run the shtick. Be like, I'm defending this for all 26 states. Mammon is 50. You know what I meant. And then my third pick, I know people like Bailey should win. And I was like, Bailey is cool and all, but let's give it to Mia Yim. I think would also, she's been busting her ass on SmackDown. And I think Mia as a mid-card champ would be fantastic. But we're getting a secondary women's title, which means that we get to have more women on our television screens. I'm like, thank God.
Which means we now have a full set of belts for women, which means Evolution?
Yes. If we get the Women's Intercontinental Championship unveiling tomorrow, we literally have across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, we have enough things where you can put all the women's championships on the lines for Evolution too, because you would have on the Raw side, you have the WWE you have the World Heavyweight Women's Championship, you have hopefully the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and then on SmackDown, you have the WWE Women's Championship, the Women's United States Championship, and then between Raw and SmackDown, you have the WWE Tag Team Championship for the women. And then in NXT, you have the NXT Women's Championship and the Women's North American Championship. So that is 7 women's championships that you can have a whole entire women's pay-per-view. I'm just like, WWE, get on it. That is what I want to see. But now let's get into the final thing that closed out SmackDown this week, the Tribal Chief Acknowledgement Ceremony. This doesn't take too long. Roman's music hits. He interrupts Solo and the Bloodline 2.0. Solo and Roman go back and forth. Roman challenges Solo in a one-on-one match to become true Tribal Chief for the Ula Fala. Solo's like, hell no, we ain't gonna do one-on-one. We're gonna do a 5-on-5. So I was like, you find a team of 5. I have a team of 5. I'll find one more person. Basically, without saying it, he's literally telling us that we are going to get a War Games match between Solo's crew. And then all hell breaks loose as Roman gets attacked. The Usos run down. Chaos begins to fold. Sami Zayn comes out to the ring. Solo thinks Sami is going to side with him because Solo's like, Sami is my 5th person, which, good on Sami for selling it like he just turned the heel. I was like, Sami, why would you do this? And I should have known better. But as Solo,
that would have been a dope twist though if he would have stayed on Solo's side.
He's like, listen, I'm joining the evil side because y'all didn't listen to me, and I have to protect you from yourself. But that is not what happened because Solo has, tells Sami to kick Roman in the face. Sami kicks Solo in the face. Chaos reigns. We get Jimmy and Jay and Sami putting the ones up. Roman just Sami, and we have the reuniting of the Bloodline. My God, SmackDown was absolutely fun this week. I thought it was the best of the 2 shows this week. But yeah, that is how SmackDown goes off the air. So, Minnie, we got the reuniting of the original Bloodline. All 4 members are here. We just need a Paul Heyman to come back.
He will.
This was beautiful to watch. And, that concludes this week's Dual Dynasty. Again, if I had to rate everything, Raw was pretty decent. I give that a 7. SmackDown was an 8.5. So I give this week's programming a solid 8 out of 10. And that is SmackDown kind of carried the main roster shows this week. But Minnie, what about you? Closing thoughts, final grades? What did you think of WWE programming this past week?
Not the worst, but there was some good stuff. I don't like the fact that Haluba kick is now just a big boot.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
It was like that normally he has to kick you in the face in the corner. Like that's how the move works. But we're just gonna big boot people now. Okay. I like how Randy sold that pile driver. that was cool. I like how we're taking more risks now. Triple H is like, we're going to do some wrestling. There were some good matches. There was a lot of good wrestling actually these past 2 weeks. More than we usually had. So I'm pretty solid. I'm gonna give it a solid like 8, just because we had some good wrestling this week.
Right. And I think it was nice because we were finally past, since we're now past, for me, since we're past Crown Jewel, we can now focus on Survivor Series, which is in 3 weeks. So we have 3 weeks until Survivor Series, which is crazy, which is amazing, which I'm excited for because we get to do a live watch along because it is technically a big 4 for WWE. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. But that is going to be it for us here at Dual Dynasty. Thank you for tuning in so much to our show. Before we sign off, since this is the first show of the week, to give you a preview of what is going down this week. Tomorrow evening on Veterans Day, myself, Adolfo, and a friend of the channel, mysterious guest, if you will, the three of us are doing a special video talking about inclusion and diversity in wrestling and talking about some of the stuff that's been going on across all of wrestling. So that's going to be fun. On Tuesday is the All Elite Ensemble review, where me, Adolfo, and Alice will be reviewing the week of AEW as we are 2 weeks out from Full Gear, the next big pay-per-view for AEW. On Wednesday is the double header of the NXT Losos review. So NXT will be myself and Luis. And later in the evening, you will see Los Lobos de la Lucha, which is El Buntador the second. Will and myself reviewing CMLL. So this is going to be interesting for sure. And then on Friday, you could catch me and Jesse watching and reviewing Ring of Honor. And then this upcoming Saturday on November 16th, myself and Andrew will be doing a live watch along for GCW's Nick Gage Invitational number 9. So if you have no idea what a death match is, it is nothing but death matches. It's going to be insane. And then we round the week up with another Dual Dynasty review. And next Sunday is another BC WrestlePod podcast episode where we are drafting our own promotions. And we're going to treat it like an NFL draft where we're going to go round by round, drafting people and creating our roster of 10. The rules will be going out to my hosts this later today. But that is going to be it for us here at Dual Dynasty. Thank you so much for tuning in. And from my say, filming a movie? Crazy. He's actually on set, which is nuts to hear. But he will be back next week with us. And next week, we will be joined by friend to the channel, Nick, and I'm super excited to have Nick because it's going to be a lot of fun. But that is going to be it for us here. From all of us here at BC WrestlePod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later. But until then, sayonara, adios, and Minnie, remind the good folks at home, why we at BC WrestlePod do what we do?
Because we wanted to.
Yeah, we will see you tomorrow. Ta-ta for now.